I'm Michel McNinch. I'm a proud artist and educator. I came to art because I drew the best snowman in kindergarten. I was always praised for my art, so I just kept doing it. And I became an educator out of my desire to share the information. I was just so excited about it that I ended up getting a group of people together and we paint together every week. I've enjoyed being an artist for the last 20 years and I hope I get another 40.
And do y'all, whenever you do the classes, or not the classes, sorry, when you get together and paint people, do you do that here or do you do that somewhere else?
I do that here and somewhere else. I teach classes at Stormwater and I also teach classes in Lexington. I teach children in my home, and my upstairs is all a children's studio. Everything's available to them, no restrictions. So they love it. And I love it too. I love watching them create.
Absolutely. And do you, when you're doing that level of stuff, like what's the kind of like art style that you try and introduce them to? Or is it the same sort of stuff that you like to do, or do you kind of keep it broad? Or?
No, they get to say, all the children that I teach get to say what they want to learn. Because I think that's the only way we learn. And if they're interested in it, they're going to do it. And they get to tell me what artists they like. Now I direct them. Like, okay, today you're going to pick an artist that you like and we're going to emulate them. Or today we're going to try sculpture. What kind of sculpture would you like? They have options to choose. And then eventually as they grow older, they find what they like more. And some will stay with pastels, some will stay with sculpture, some will stay with painting. It just depends on what their proclivity is.
And so, what's you talk about them kind of like growing as artists. Do you think like what's the age range that you kind of like? Do you keep those classes going, or as far as like how much of that development do you get to see through the classes and stuff before you kind of?
It is the best thing about being a teacher is to watch them grow. I just watched someone graduate out of high school and out of my class that I started teaching when she was 4. I keep them. I love them. I love doing it with them. It's changed my life to have these kids around, you know. She was in a class with 5 kids. They all stayed with me until they graduated high school. They put their hand on my wall. They left a print on my wall as they graduated. And they all went to Clemson. You'll probably have to edit that out. I don't know why they did. But I'm real proud of them. And they all come back. They come to visit. After you graduate high school, all your classes are free. So you just come and visit when you can. I got somebody coming tomorrow at 11:30. She needs help with something. She's in college.
That's awesome. So then, moving away from the classes taking place at your house, talk about a little bit about the classes that you do here.
The classes that I do at Stormwater are much smaller, and they're adults. Oh, for the most part, I think I teach 1 children's class, but there's 3 adults in here plus me, and it's very intensive. These are people that have already gone through beginning lessons. This is for someone who's a little more serious about the techniques that it takes to build a good painting. How do I take this idea and make it a visual statement rather than a speech or, you know, and it's fun. And it's also a mutual admiration society. You know, we've all painted together for a long time now.
And then so I feel like you've already talked about, you know, art and growth and the way those two things kind of coalesce, but also, you know, kind of trying to move towards some of the questions that I've been asked to ask you as well. Can you talk a little bit about why you think art matters, and do you think that it is involved in that growth, or is there a larger reason that you think art matters? Or?
Absolutely. Why art matters to me is that it holds us together. It is what binds us as a culture. How would you have liked quarantine without the arts? Number 1. Number 2, when we got back together, it was in the spirit of the arts that we got back together. I want to paint this with you. I want to sit in that group and be creative with you. I want to express myself in an artistic way. I want to be more eloquent. I want to problem solve. It just provides so much. It provides community and everything. It provides everything to me, even a living.
Do you want want to talk about that a little bit as well? As far as I have in some of the other interviews as well, touched on a little bit of like the clientele aspect of like, you know, do you find that Stormwater is a place where you can network with other artists and kind of build up a clientele, or is it more of a show space to you, or is it mostly a studio as far as like a location to work? Or
What I think Stormwater provides to the community is a place where they can go for quality artwork. We're all professional artists, all proud professional artists, and work very hard on our craft. And I believe that our community can trust that, they're coming here and that what they will see here is living, breathing artists working and making a living at it. As far as building a clientele here, I would rather think of it as a community. I would rather think of it as someone who likes to hang out here and see what we're up to. Because if they decide to purchase and collect and have art in their home, that's good. But if they don't want to, it's not necessary as part of being around here and being part of the community. They can be an artist. They can just stroll in. They can be visitors from out of town. Everybody's going to be welcome here. Artists are like that, you know. We take every pea in the pod. And I don't know that anybody that's not welcome here. You know? And you need that in a community too. That's also why art matters.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your process for the? I'm seeing a variety here. I don't know if you have a. I will admit, a lot of the other people that I've interviewed have been a little bit. It seemed like a more honed in on a specific thing. As far is it maybe the material isn't the focus so much as maybe the message. Is there
No,
there specificity?
I paint in series.
Okay.
So I'm basically a painter. I don't sculpt or photograph. So I paint in series. I get a hankering for a different medium every so often. So right now I'm painting on metal leaf and really enjoying it. But last year I was painting on canvas. I might study shrimp for a while. We went to the beach all together, all the painters together, and we examined objects. What are we missing? You know, we would just walk by these pretty little bugs. The shrimp have all different kinds of rostrums on their head. They have walking legs and swimming legs. And, you know, we miss all that. We just go so fast. And I know I probably know more about shrimp than I need to, but I enjoyed it. And so I work in series. I pick what I enjoy, do a bunch of it, and then pick something else I enjoy. I did night skies of Charleston. I do oysters. I do bugs. I just whatever. I don't have to decide. I can just paint. I paint in response to anything that catches my eye.
Do you think that is a response to an interest in learning more about those things, or is the learning more about those things a result of the process itself?
That's such a great question. I have an intellectual curiosity about these things. I also think I have a responsibility to learn these things. But it can also be a pretty day and I want to go paint the clouds. But yeah, I did have an intellectual curiosity about that shrimp. I've been eating shrimp all my life and it looks like a monster. You know, they got these swords on their heads, these big old eyes, and I just wanted to look at it. I just wanted to discover it. We pinned it to a plate. Everybody had their own raw oyster and pinned it to a plate, spread the pieces and parts out, and we all drew studies, and then we all painted a study, and then we all painted a final painting. That part was about the process. Okay, here we have a beautiful object. How will we visually represent it? You know, I did mine on copper leaf. A lot of people just did it on canvas. You could sculpt them. They'd be great sculpted. I would take it out of its normal boundaries. I would make that bigger so you could examine it more closely. This is a cute little cicada. I think it would be very good for this film if I just tease it. I don't know. Just an intellectual curiosity and a means by which to express it, which is paint for me. It's a practical thing, mostly. I read there. I study other art there. I sleep there.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yep. And a lot of other people sit there. This makes other people comfortable. For example, I had a little child that was taking a class and she was very uncomfortable. But when she sat there without her shoes, she started feeling better. She got into it. So it's comfort, basically. A little piece of comfort.
That makes sense. I was wondering because, when I came in, you were sitting here. And so I was just wondering.
I'm working.
Yeah, okay. So this isn't work, though. This is not.
Right. This is contemplation and relax and comfort. And think about other people's art. Think about my next art. Thinking chair.
Gotcha. Cool.
Mm-hmm. But the pillow means the whole studio is my happy place. This is the best studio I have ever been in or ever seen. The people are committed to this studio and this complex of studios. We aren't finished. This is just the beginning of this community. We're proud to be the first artists here, but these studios will rotate and more artists and more community will come here. And we're proud to be the ones that started here. It's bigger than the artists that are here. It's more about what can happen here. What is the potential? Who's the next artist coming through here? What will they have to say? How will we see it? How will we receive it? Will we even know how great it is? Just make sure we're paying attention to the culture that we have in our city, because we have a lot. And not just the visual arts. So hopefully this will be a place that all the arts feel comfortable. We have music here on a regular basis. I'd like to see more sculpture here. There's a dream of a sculpture bay area over there. We've got dreams and plans, and hopefully I'm around to see some of them happen.